Hi guys, just having a bit of a look at the wild rocket here. So the rocket in this garden I sowed a couple of years ago, and I've let that naturally go to seed. So you'll see a seed head here, some flowers here which will become a seed head, and also the coriander, this coriander which is coming on quite well lately, also flowering as well. And I often let a few of the plants self-seed, so I've always got a stockpile of seed in the ground there ready to come up without me having to keep making successive sowings every year. But with this recent rain, everything's looking quite lush, and the kale here, good standby. It's quite those new smaller leaves tend to be a bit crisper. Can get a bit tough sometimes. The kale is a relative of cabbage, and obviously it has that cabbage-like appearance on the leaves, quite tough, sort of slightly greyish colour to them. Really good in cold weather too. Also got a bit of silver beet. This is the dill. The interesting thing about the dill, yet again going to flower, and you can see them seed heads there, and this will self-seed, so I'm hoping to maintain this part of the patch to just be a permanent herb garden from successive self-seeded plants. The problem you can get if you do that is sometimes second and third generations can lead to throwbacks to the wild type, which just means going back to more of an earlier form of the herb, so you might get some smaller leaves, smaller plants. If that happens, I'll resow. This is the swede, and I've had the swede in probably a good 3 months now, and getting some really good tubers on them. You can see one here. Not super big. I probably didn't thin these out enough, and they also actually went through a really dry period when I was trying to minimise the watering too, just to save on water. I probably didn't mulch enough. We've got a wild petunia just came up there, probably just out of the compost pile. Here's some capsicums. Interesting thing, these capsicums are all quite small, but the amount of fruit I'm getting off them is more than I've ever had, and it's really interesting that I found that by watering less, I'm actually getting more capsicum. Here's some more swede here. These two swedes grew together, and they've actually formed like a Siamese swede. They're like sort of stuck together as one now. Got some beetroot here as well. The plants are actually quite small, but funny thing is sometimes with these tuber plants is that a big plant doesn't always mean a big tuber, and you can have a small head on the plant but actually have quite a good beetroot. Now that's a nice looking beetroot there, and it's something I'll come back to and probably have for dinner. Just started to rain. Here's some parsley. I think this is triple curl. This area of the garden's had parsley in it for about a good 2 or 3 years now, and it tends to die back a bit in late winter, but then it'll spring back again as soon as you get them warmer days. We've got some lettuce over here and some silver beet. This is second or third year silver beet. Them leaves just keep growing back, and I'll just pick the leaves off as I use them. I don't tend to pull the plant out. And so one thing too with the recent hot weather is some of these plants are bolting. So you can see there, this is what silver beet looks like when it bolts. Now, bolting is just when the plant puts out a seed stem, and it tends to grow taller. They get a lot woodier. So you've got to be careful with bolting plants. It's best just to pull them out. Sometimes I'll keep some leaves, but it's better to pull them out. Got some ladybirds as well. Really common in the garden. When I'm washing my silver beet out, I always have to be careful of them. Apparently they're quite good at eating up the pests. Well, it's starting to rain a bit heavier now. But that's just a good summary of how everything's looking. I just harvested some stuff for dinner, and I just wanted to go to show how good everything looks when you go down 5 minutes even just picking some fresh veggies, and they just look so good. I just couldn't help myself. But this is the rocket that we were just talking about. It's got such a strong pungent flavour too. There's something about growing with slightly less water, or I don't know if it's that or whether it's just eating it fresh, but it's way more pungent flavour than you ever get if you buy it in the shop. The kale there. Kale's always a good addition. Got a couple of swedes. Also picked some leeks as well. Got some parsley in there. Here's some silver beet. That's always nice, just steamed, or otherwise sometimes I'll saute that. Silver beet's one of my favourites. I could eat that all the time. I've also got some beetroot leaves as well. They're quite edible. This is the leeks. So the leeks look a bit rough when you pick them out, but you peel a few layers of skin off and trim them up, give them a wash, and they're great. I cut them really finely, and they're really nice to eat. The dill here as well. So that really fine dill. That dill's been better than ever this year, and I think the key with that is I used to overwater the dill, and it would always struggle. The leaves would sort of turn this purplish colour. Now I've got a swede here, so that's quite nice, probably my biggest swede. I just trimmed off the roots, trimmed off the head, and yeah, always into my turnips. Swedes come in a variety of sizes. There's the small ones here. The reason why the small ones are there is because I haven't thinned them strongly enough. So if I leave too many close together, then they'll either conjoin or they'll end up with a smaller plant. That's a really nice beetroot, that one too. That's like a prize beetroot. Look at the shape of that. Fantastic. We've got some, might have some beetroot leaves down the bottom here, and the beetroot leaves are edible. They're very similar to spinach, and spinach and beetroot are related. Hence the similarity in the leaves, and you'll even see sort of Swiss chard, otherwise as it's otherwise known, has that red stem as well. So you can eat beetroot leaves, a bit of parsley there, and I'm really thinking this is going to make a nice salad of sorts with them steamed beetroot and some steamed swede and finely chopped leeks. That's dinner right there. Should be a good one. All right, catch you guys later.